They were 3 days into the drive across the Northern Territory when the road disappeared. Ryan, Jules, and Mia had been backpacking for 5 months, hitching rides, working hostel jobs, and sleeping under stars. The stretch between Catherine and the Stewart Highway had been flat, empty, and brutal. No signal, no fuel, just heat, dust, and the hum of tires over crumbling tarmac. But sometime near dusk, the road narrowed, turned gravel, then vanished completely. They stopped. Ahead, there was nothing but dry scrub, ghost gum trees, and red dust as far as the horizon. Ryan blamed the GPS. Jules said they'd missed a turn. Mia just pointed. "What's that building?" It sat behind a crumbling fence, long, low, and faded yellow. A single sign swung from rusted hinges above the porch. The Outpost. Backpackers welcome. None of them had seen it on the map. It wasn't marked. It hadn't been there 5 minutes ago. But suddenly, it looked like the only option. As night crept in, they took their packs, crossed the dusty yard, and climbed the steps. The door creaked open before they touched it. Inside, it was dim and still. Desert quiet. A long hallway stretched out ahead, lined with mismatched doors. The wallpaper peeled in floral patterns. Dust floated in the air like ash. But there was a bell on the front desk, and beside it, a guest book. Ryan flipped it open. The names were smudged, dates unclear, but they spanned decades. 1982. 1997, 2011. The most recent entry simply read, "Still here." They laughed nervously. A prank, they thought. Some weird art installation. Maybe an abandoned hostel kept up by travelers. But in the kitchen, the fridge hummed, the water ran, beds were made. Someone had prepared this place. They picked their rooms. Ryan and Jules took a shared bunk. Mia took one at the end of the hall. As they settled in, night wrapped the building like a shroud. The wind picked up, but no cold air came through the broken windows. Just silence, heavy and thick. At 2:14 a.m., Mia woke to footsteps outside her door. Slow, barefoot. She sat up and whispered, "Guys?" No answer. She got out of bed. The hallway light flickered, then died. From the darkness, someone breathed. She ran to Ryan and Jules, but their beds were empty. Sheets folded, like no one had ever been there. She checked the front door. It was gone. Not locked, not boarded. Gone. Replaced by a solid wall. She screamed, but the sound didn't echo. In the morning, Ryan woke alone. No Jules, no Mia. Just the hallway. Longer now. More doors. He ran to the front, found the wall, felt the wallpaper where the door had been. Then he saw the guest book. His name was already written. He didn't remember doing it. He flipped to the last page. "Don't look behind room 6. He went to room 6. He had to. The door opened slowly. Inside, darkness. A smell like rotting rain. Shapes moved in the corners. He took a step in. Then another. Something shut the door behind him. And outside room 6, the hallway side, another door appeared. Mia awoke again. In a room she didn't recognize. The walls were soft, breathing. A low hum echoed like distant thunder. Her backpack was gone. Her phone was dead. She ran into the hall. Doors stretched endlessly. No windows. Just the sound of dripping. Drip, drip, drip. At the end of the hall, the kitchen light was on. Inside, Jules was sitting, pale, eyes hollow. He looked at her and smiled, but his mouth didn't move right. "It feeds us now," he whispered. "We're part of it." She screamed and ran, But the hallway twisted, angles bent wrong, floors sloped upward. She tripped, landed hard, looked up, and there it was. Not a man, not a monster, just absence. A void in human shape, standing just beyond the flickering light. It had no face, no eyes, but it watched. And when it reached out, she felt every regret she'd ever had flood back at once. It showed her Ryan. It showed her room 6. It showed her things that hadn't happened yet. She begged. "You came in," it said, not with a voice, but with finality. "Now you stay." Days passed, or hours, or minutes. Time warped. Sometimes Mia heard music, laughter, a kettle boiling. Then, silence again. Other travelers arrived, more backpackers, tired, lost, hopeful. And each time, the outpost opened its door. Each time, the halls grew longer. Each time, the guest book added a name. And outside, on the Stewart Highway, drivers swear they see a building that shouldn't be there. Just for a moment, just long enough to turn off the road, just long enough to check in and never leave. Some say the outpost is alive, that it was never built, that it just appeared one day, born from heat and hunger and the memories of all the roads where people vanished. There are stories, rumors passed between truckers at roadhouses, about the girl who hitchhiked alone and was last seen knocking on a door that wasn't there the next day. About the couple whose car broke down only to find shelter in a building they couldn't find again once they escaped. Some have escaped. One man, Malcolm Shore, was found wandering the highway in 1994, covered in dust, drenched in sweat. He wouldn't speak, but he drew it, over and over. The same building, the same sign. They put him in a hospital. He died 3 days later. Scratched into his forearm with a fork was one phrase: "Don't check in." Others never get out, but their names do. Posted in online forums, found in journals, carved into rest stop benches. One woman left a voicemail to her family. She whispered, "It has doors in all directions, but none of them lead out." Another scribbled in a notebook, "Time runs in circles. I've been here a week, or a year." Even the wildlife avoids the place. Birds refuse to perch. Dingoes won't go near the fence. And every so often, a dust storm reveals it just for an instant. It's always dusk when it appears, always dusk when it vanishes, and always a vacancy. Mia once tried to map the hallways. She used chalk, left breadcrumbs, but they were gone the next time she looked. Room 6 no longer had a door, just a wall. And sometimes, late at night, she heard Ryan behind it, calling her name, sometimes screaming, sometimes laughing, and once, a knock. 3 times, then silence. She doesn't answer anymore. She sits in the kitchen, like Jules once did, like the others do now. She watches the clock, even though it doesn't move, and she waits. Because eventually, someone else will come. Someone will need shelter. Someone will walk off the road and see a warm, yellow building behind a broken fence. They'll read the sign, "The Outpost, backpackers, welcome." And they'll think, "How lucky, a place to rest." And the door will creak open, and the hallway will stretch, and the guest book will be ready, and Mia will be waiting, smiling, because the Outpost never forgets, and it never lets go.
There's a shadow in the hallway and a voice beneath the floor. I lock the doors, I hold my breath, but it's closer than seen before. A cold wind in the mirror, footsteps on the stairs. I feel it watching silently, but nothing's ever there.